Good morning. I am Dr. Manjula Jinasena. I am the University Medical Officer of your university. Can you see me? I think some of you have already come to the medical center. I think some of you have seen the medical center. Excuse me. Can you see these slides? Can you tell me whether you see these slides?
No, madam.
You can't see the slides, no? Then wait, give me 1 minute, please. Mr. Indik, product බලන්න. Can you see the slides now? Can somebody tell me whether you can see the slides? Is it still not visible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see, doctor.
You can see the
Yes,
slides.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can see.
You can see and you can hear my voice also, no?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So, I am the university medical officer. I am the doctor who is going to treat you when you come to the university. We have a medical center in the university. I think some of you have already come to the medical center and taken treatment, so you know that there's a medical center. And that medical center is like a small hospital or small dispensary in your hometown, okay? So the university, as the university supplies with you with this facility. I mean the health facility. So you don't have to, most of the time, you don't have to go to hospital to take treatment in the working hours, okay? So why do we take so much pain to supply the medical facilities, health facilities, and those things to you? Because our target is to make you very healthy, okay? And our target is to make you well-rounded graduates, healthy graduates at the end of 4 years. And healthy body houses a healthy mind, healthy brain. If you don't suffer from illnesses, if you don't suffer from physical illnesses, psychological stress, and various that sort of problems only, you can concentrate on your studies, right? So let's take a few minutes to talk about what is health. Some people say that health is wealth. ආරෝග්‍ය පරමාලාභා කියලා කියනෝනේ. In my belief, health is not just wealth, health is everything. Because if you're sick means you can't do anything, isn't it? So what are the facilities we provide you to ensure your healthiness? Right? Health is described to few parts, actually. Physical health, that is staying free from illnesses. Mental health, that is staying happy, stress-free. And social, there's a part called social health also. Social health means having healthy relations with the society. That's also important. It's not just staying free from illnesses. You have to psychologically, you have to be healthy, you have to be happy, and you have to interact with society also in the healthy way. There's no use if you are physically well and psychologically well if you are cause problems in the society, isn't it? If you harass people, if you don't do harmful things to society, you have to be healthy in society also. You have to have healthy relationships with the society. Okay. So what are the things? What is the role of university in ensuring that you are healthy individuals? There's a medical center, as I told you. And in that medical center, we give you medicines, isn't it? We supply you medicines free of charge. Then we do counseling. We sort of, when you have problems, you can come and talk with me. That's called counseling. And then we do health education part also. That is teaching you about various health matters. And then you have canteens in the university. Please give me 1 minute to fix some problem. Kemana ulat nih? Audio, but really? Okay. Okay, now I have come back to your presentation. There's a small problem about the video, so you can't see my face, I think, but there's no harm because I think some of you have seen me and you can come and see me when you come back to the university. There's no harm. So we were talking about the role of the university in supplying you health services. And I said that we give you medicines. We provide the health counseling for you. And we do the health education part in some amount. And we do our best to supply you with good quality foods in the canteens. There are 3 canteens in the university. And it is not like outside canteen because we always check those canteens to check whether they supply with you good food, the hygienic food, whether it's prepared properly, whether it's, satisfactory for the students like you. We do our maximum. We can't supply you the first class food, but with the resources we have, we do our best to supply you with good food. Okay? Then we do our best to supply you with clean water. Clean water is very important in the health, I think you know. So we always, there are boilers in your hostels and there are boilers and filters in the canteens. And we always check the purity and the quality of the water. In that way, we supply you with clean water. Then we do our best to keep the environment healthy and danger-free for you. And then we provide we provide sport facilities. There's a sport department in our university, and there's a sport director. And there's a gym, there's a ground. And we do, with our limited resources, we do our best to supply you with sport facilities. So these services aim to create a supportive atmosphere, ensuring students' well-being and well-balanced diet. Okay. Well-balanced student life. Now let's see. Now I talk to you about the role of the university in supplying you with the proper health. And what is your role as students? You also have responsibilities as students because it's your life. And whatever we do, if you are not cooperative, we can't make you healthy. And what are your responsibilities? Taking proper nutrition and taking proper water intake, getting engaged in exercise, and trying your best to live stress-free life, and protecting yourself from harmful situations, various harmful situations, and reporting threats. Let's take these items one by one. And nutrition is very important. You know, you are young adults. Okay, you have just in the end stage of your growing age. You need good food. Actually, you need well-balanced diet. So, do you think you have to, most of you have to satisfy your food needs from the canteens these days, isn't it? So, do you believe that canteens supply well-balanced diet? Do you believe? Anybody can talk, if you want to discuss while I am talking, it's okay, you can ask questions. Right. So, do you think university canteens are capable of supplying well-balanced diet? Have you eaten? I think you stayed here for 2 weeks or so. I think you have eaten from the canteen. I don't know your idea of the canteen food. When we were students, we also ate from, most of the time we ate from the canteen. And most of these rice packets contain 1 or 2 vegetables. For non-veg people, there's eggs or fish or occasionally chicken or something. And altogether about 4 curries and rice. I think we can call it quite satisfactory, isn't it? Because to be honest, at my home also, I cook only 2 vegetables for a meal and meat or fish or something like that. I think I also eat from the canteen time to time. I think this canteen food is okay. But when you eat from the same place for a long time, that's a different matter. Then you get fed up. Then you feel that canteen food is tasteless. That's okay. So, actually, there's no harm eating from outside when you feel like, or taking some supplements, keeping some supplements with you, like milk or vitamins or other thing. There's no harm if you can afford. If you can afford, you can do whatever you like. But I assure you that eating only from canteens can never cause you malnutrition. Okay? So you don't have to worry about that part. Then I have to talk about water. Water is very important. You have to, I always advise you to keep your own bottle of water. And I always advise you to consume only boiled and cooled water. Right? Why? Because tap water, we can never trust tap water because it is supposed to be purified. It comes from the water board. They keep it in tanks, add various things to clean the water. They are supposed to be clean and quality, but we are never sure about it. Okay, so what my advice is that you always drink boiled and cooled water. You can get it because in hostels, you have boilers. In canteens also, there are boilers and filters. In your boarding places, some of you, in first year, I think you are in hostel, but in second year, most of you will be in boarding places. So in boarding places also, you have to demand your boarding owners to supply you with boiled or filtered water. Okay? Because there are so many illnesses that are waterborne. And don't ask your friends bottle of water. That's very bad habit. Then comes exercise. I told you that we have exercise facilities for students. And my recommendation is it's best if at least you participate in one sport. There are many sport events here. Football, rugby, netball, volleyball, taekwondo. There are so many things. And they give the facilities also. And my recommendation is one sport for one person. If you engage in too many sports, that's also bad. Why is it bad? Because if you, one thing, you shouldn't exert your body too much. We know that we can't, nutrition is somewhat limited, no? And then the other thing, your time is also limited. If you go on doing sports only, you can never study and pass your exam, okay? So you have to get engaged in one sport for one person that way. And then there are people who don't like sports, I know, because they are not good at sports. There are a lot of people who are not good at sports and don't enjoy sports. What should they do? It's okay if they don't enter one of those teams and play. It's quite all right. But they have to engage in some type of exercise. Okay. What are the types of exercise you can enjoy? Walking is always enjoyable. This Badul area is a very nice area with a lot of natural beauty. Mountains and waterfalls and everything. You can do hiking, walking, and you can go to the town, walk to the town. You can do your shopping. And walking is the best. At least 1 hour, 1.5 hours per day, if you can walk, that's very good. And if you stay in a very far away hostel, that's very good for your health. Okay? Because then naturally it gives you a chance to walk. Then you can do jogging, find some place and do jogging. And those who love swimming can do swimming. The facilities are there in the university. And if you don't like any of those things, you can do some dancing, social dancing. But whatever you do, you have to do it regularly. Then I told you that just as food is important, just as water is important, just as exercise is important, living stress-free is also very important, right? Why? Because if you are under stress, you can't stay happily. If you are not happy, your immunity drops, right? If your immunity drops, you become ill very easily. So how do you live stress-free life? To live stress-free life, we have to find out what causes you stress. You have to think and find out what type of things cause you stress. What are the things that cause you stress? Academic things. One of the most important thing is academic stress, right? You have overload of work. There are a lot of lectures and there are assessments, assignments and projects, presentations, so many things. So how do you remove your academic stress? Can you forget your studies? Is that the way to remove academic stress? Certainly not. The way of removing academic stress is doing it properly. I mean, you have to go on studying. You have to go on studying. That's the only way of removing academic stress. If there are subjects you can't understand properly, if there are things you feel you can never study, there are students who feel that they can't study. Sometimes they have done very well in their A levels, but as soon as they come to university, they feel that they can't continue their studies. Okay? You have to solve this problem somehow. You have to get help. There are so many ways to get help. You have to get help from your friends. You can get help. There are mentors for you. You can talk with mentors, and you can talk with the counselor. There's a counselor in the university, or they can talk. You can talk with me. This academic problem you have to solve somehow, right? And then second thing, the other thing is getting engaged in extra activities. What are the extra activities? This university is actually full of extra activities, sometimes too much. There is social works, doing New Year festival, Vesak festival, Ramasan, Deepavali, all those Christmas. There are various activities, functions, and talent shows. Those things you can get engaged in them and themselves, and you can get socialized yourself and enjoy. So they are the social activities. Apart from social activities, there are things like what you can do some singing, you can watch movies, you can do some painting, you can do some dancing, those things. Then third thing is improving your English. Why? Why is English so important to live a stress-free life? Because English always comes, because most of us are not coming from English-speaking families. No, I am also not. When I was so small, we talk only in Sinhala with family members. Okay, because it's our mother tongue. Some of you are speak in Tamil at your home. So our mother tongue is either Sinhala or Tamil. So the barrier of English comes to us at a time, sometime in our life, okay? But we have to break that barrier. Why? Because it's a barrier between you and your academic activities, and it is a barrier between you and the rest of the world. So you have to improve English. It's a must. Right? If you have a problem with your English, in that case also, you have to talk with somebody. You have to talk and solve the problem. There are ways to, very easy way to solve this problem, because English is not a difficult language to learn. And I think you know that there are students who go to other countries for their higher studies, isn't it? You have heard. There are students who go to China, Russia, India, or various countries, isn't it? And they learn their languages. They learn Russian, or they learn Chinese, and they do their studies in those languages also. So the English actually we learn from our primary, no? So it's not a difficult thing. So you have to try your best to improve and get fluent in English. If you have a problem with English, you can talk with somebody, get the counseling, and get, if you feel helpless, you can always come and ask me for help, then I will arrange something for you. And then fourth thing is keeping good relationships with your friends, teachers, and other people. Okay? If you feel that you are lonely, if you feel that you don't have friends, if you feel that teachers are not helping, and if you are angry with your hostel keeper, boarding keepers, and society, then you can't study well. You have to keep good relationships with friends, and you have to think you can't do anything alone. Okay, we live in a society, so you have to start good relationships with your society, and then for all these problems, you can always get counseling when needed. If you don't know, I can just say, I can put this slideshow and tell me what to do. But practice is a different thing. You may find those things a little different, a little difficult. Okay. In that case, you can talk with somebody. Always you can talk with somebody. And that somebody may be your best friend. That somebody may be your family member. Or that somebody may be our counselors, mentors, or myself, right? Okay. All those things are okay. But you live in a new place, isn't it? You live in you are much away from your home. You live in a place with different climate, and you live in a place with uh, different people, and you are exposed to the society for the first time, and you are doing all your things alone for the first time. So far, you have been protected. Most of you have been protected by your parents. You are free and getting exposed to the society, environment, and so many other things that are so different from the life you have spent so far. So, what are the threats you face living in a place like this? What are the threats? What type of things you have to protect yourself? First thing is germs and parasites. Then alcohol, smoking, and drugs. Then injuries. Then stray animals. Then dangerous relationships. Then stress. Let us take those things. I will tell you how these things come threats to your life. First, let's talk about germs and parasites. Germs, you know what are the germs? Germs are the bacteria and viruses and fungi. Okay, what are the parasites? Parasites are mainly mosquitoes. Sometimes there are the parasites like worms or flies, those things. Or some insects, bees, hornets, those are also parasites, but mainly mosquitoes, right? So germs, I told you, germs are viruses and bacteria and fungi. Why are they dangerous? Because germs are the things that cause illnesses to you, most of the illnesses to you. The respiratory infections like cough and cold, fever, then gastroenteritis, that is loose motion, vomiting. Those things are mainly caused by germs. We know, we all have a experience about the COVID pandemic, no? The COVID was caused by a virus, isn't it? That tiny viruses cause so much problem to the world. So the COVID is not the only virus. There are other viruses. And there are bacteria also. When you cough and get cough and cold, running nose, it's most of the time virus. When your phlegm comes yellowish and you cough out yellow phlegm, it's most of the time it is bacteria. Okay. When your wounds get infected and pus comes out of your wounds, they are bacterial infections. Okay. When you get some rashes in your body, they are fungal infections. So what can you do to protect yourself those germs? You have to keep your best to keep away from sick people, right? And then when you are sick, you have to you have to keep away from healthy people. That's to protect them from yourself, right? And then you can use barriers like mask, just like in COVID time. Always you have to keep few masks with you, okay? When you become ill, you can use mask. When your roommate becomes ill, you can wear mask to protect yourself from others. And when there's an type of epidemic of flu, often called very prevalent in the university also, you can wear mask. Then you have to wash your hands. Right? When you suspect there are infections around you, then when there are a lot of loose motion people around you, you have to wash your hands properly. You have to wash your hands after going to toilet and before eating food. And then you can use sanitizers also. Now people have forgotten about sanitizers, but you can keep a small bottle of sanitizers in your bag. And when you suspect of some dirt in your hands, when you don't have time to wash your hands, you can use those sanitizers. Okay. Then you have to, as I told you earlier, you have to do your best to drink boiled or filtered water. Right? Then you have to, sometimes you go to outside for your food, no? It's normal because you can't go on eating only from the canteen. You go to, when you get used to the place, you start going to town. You go to various places and eat. When you eat, you should never eat in poor quality restaurants. Yeah, you have to think about the hygiene before going to restaurant. Then there's one thing I have to remind you. The people who live in very far away places, sometimes when they come to university, they bring a big packet of rice from home. But if you spend about 6 or 7 hours in the bus, and your mothers most of the time cook this food very early in the morning, 3 o'clock or something. And if it contains something like chicken or something, after about 6 or 7 hours, those food become bad. So my advice is, if you are living in faraway places, don't bring packets of rice. Then don't drink water served in restaurants. We can't be sure about the quality of this water. So when you go to restaurant, you can take a bottle of water with you, or you can drink something like plain tea. Right. Then the last thing is, sometimes you may be recommended to take some vaccines. There's a chance of getting in future, if you get some future epidemics of flu or some special illnesses, vaccines will be recommended for you. And vaccines are recommended and supplied, you have to take those vaccines. These are also about germs. So let's talk about parasites also. How do you protect yourself from parasites? Mosquitoes, the main thing. Now we know that Badul area is a place full of, it's famous for dengue. Okay, not university, but other parts of Badul, it's a very prevalent in dengue fever. Just after some rain, there are a lot of dengue cases, right? So you have to, all of you know how to protect from dengue, isn't it? What we have to do is protect ourselves from mosquitoes, because mosquito is the vector of dengue. So if possible, use nets, right? If using nets is not possible, then you have to use something like mosquito repellents. There are various creams and balms available in pharmacies and groceries. You can get those balms and apply if you suspect that there are mosquitoes in your area. They, alcohol, smoking, and drugs. Are there any of you who already consume alcohol or smoking? I think there is a small percentage of students. When you come to the university, you come to university around the age of 21 or 20, 21 or 22. And among those students, among those boys, there is a very small fraction of students who consume alcohol and who do smoking, right? But after coming to university, what happens is other students also learn. Now they are free, no? They start this habit. We all know that alcohol is bad. We all know smoking is bad. But some students believe that for their personality, for their manhood, they should consume alcohol. So they do, they have to smoke also. I tell you that it's a very out of dated and very silly thing. Okay, those days. In 1950, around 1950 or something, it was a style, right? The actresses, actors, Western actors. It was this, there was this, even women smoked those days, but now it's out of date. And it's, if somebody consumes alcohol or smokes, we don't think they are smart anymore. What people feel is special smoking. If somebody is smoking, we feel that he is addicted patient. We see them, most of the girls especially see them as a patient who is addicted to smoking. And if drink so much also, people feel pity about you. People feel sorry about you. It is not something nice, right? And smoking make your lips black. and smells, you smell bad, and you become an unpleasant character in the society. People don't like you, start disliking you. And if you drink too much, the same thing happens. Okay, there are people, there are professionals also who consume drinks often, and we know when we see when he comes close to us, we smell the alcohol, and we feel we don't like. Nobody like those people, okay? නිකන් අර නිකන් අකමැත්තෙන් කතා කරන්නේ. අපිට පිළිකුලක් වගේ තමයි ඇති වෙන්නේ ගොඩාක් කරන ගොඩාක් alcohol consume කරන කෙනෙක් ළඟට ආපුවාම අපිට නිකන් අප්‍රසන්න ගතිය තියෙන very unpleasant. and අපි අර තරහ වෙනවට තමයි කතා කරන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ එක්ක. අන්න ඒක මතක තියාගන්න. හොඳද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ බොයිස්ලා මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. alcohol ගත්තා කියලා smoke කරා කියලා ඒකෙන් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ personality එක manhood එක improve වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක මිනිස්සු අතරේ ඕගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් දුර්වල චරිතයක්. ඇල්කොහොල් නොබී ඉන්න, එහෙම නැත්නම් ස්මෝක් නොකර ඉන්න තරම් පෞරුෂයක් නැති දුර්වල චරිතයක් විදිහට තමයි ඇල්කොහොල් ගන්න අය, ස්මෝක් කරන අය සමාජයේ දකින්නේ. ඒක ඉස්සර තමයි ඇල්කොහොල් ගන්න එක, ස්මෝක් කරන එක ස්ටයිල් එකක් වෙලා තිබුණේ. අර කවුබෝයි ෆිල්ම්ස්, Wild West, the time of Wild West movies, okay? ඒ කාලේ තමයි ඒක ස්ටයිල් එකක් වෙලා තිබුණේ. දැන් නෙමෙයි. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. Right? Then comes drugs. I don't feel there are people who are addicted to drugs in this university. But drugs are always circulating in the society. We know that even school children are get addicted to drugs. So there may be drug dealers around you, in those shops around you. They may try to sell you something, and you have to keep aware of those things. You have to keep aware of those dangers around the society and protect yourself. About protecting from drugs, I will do some program in details later, right? Then comes injuries. Right. Injuries are so common in this area. Why? Because there are a lot of mountains, and the roads are also not straight, no, this area. Banguni pirila තියෙන්නේ. The injuries are very common. And most students, most boys use motorbicycles as their transport medium. So what happens? The motorbicycle accidents are common. And they get injuries. At least I get one person a day who has fallen from motorbike, right? So you have to be careful in driving motorcycle, and you always have to wear helmets, right? And then the other injuries also. A lot of people fall down here because they're full of mountains and all that, no? So girls, if you wear high heel shoes or bad shoes, slippery shoes, you fall most of the time. You have to use proper shoes. And then often you go hiking and various picnics and hikes, walk and trips. It's okay. It's the time for hikes. University is the time for hikes. And this area is full of nice places with natural beauty. Hiking, camping areas, this Badul area is full of those places. So you can't help going hiking and going on trips. But you have to be careful where you go, and please don't bathe in dangerous places. Okay? Then don't go on hiking in dangerous places with wild animals and bad keeps, and it is not supposed to be protective, supposed to be safe. You should not hike in those places. Then comes stray animals. What are stray animals? Stray animals are the animals that you love very much. Dogs and cats mainly. And why are they stray? Why we give them the bad name? Those cute, nice animals, why do you give the name of stray animals, nice, unpleasant name like that? Because those stray animals don't have owners. The cats in your home, the dogs in your home have owners. They are not stray. They are nice, okay? But the stray animals don't have owners. So they are not vaccinated. Right? If one of those cats bite you, one of those dogs bite you, there's a chance of getting rabies. Right? Rabies is an illness, very dangerous illness. Rabies doesn't have a cure. So if you get bitten by a cat or dog, or sometimes squirrel, even a squirrel, or rabbit, or some other animal, you have to go to hospital and get the appropriate vaccines. And sometimes with this economic crisis, sometimes hospitals don't have those medicines also. So if you, by any chance, if you get rabies, there's a chance of dying, right? So you have to be careful with your stray animals. My advice is you must stay away from stray cats and stray dogs and don't feed them also. Why? Feeding stray animals is not accepted in society. Why? Because if you feed only, they breed. If you feed them, they breed. Breed means they become healthy and they reproduce. And there are more and more stray animals, right? So you should not, you have to think twice before giving food to those animals. Now I come to one of the things which is very important. I have been talking to you about things you have to protect yourself, isn't it? One of the most important things you have to protect yourself is dangerous relationships. In dangerous relationships, first I will tell you about the thing. It is very, very dangerous. That is the relationships. That is having, say, having unprotected sexual contact with people. It could be your partner. It could be some other person. Or it could be with, I don't like talking about this, but it is something that sometimes happens in universities. Okay. Now there are some students who don't even have a partner. So nothing to worry. They don't even have a partner. They plan to have a partner later and marry. They are safe. Okay. But most of students have their partners, boyfriends and girlfriends, right? It's also okay. It's needed actually. Psychological, that you need partners. But the context with them, you have to have your relationship very safe, right? And it's the physical contact with each other, you have to do in a very safe, unharmful way, right? And occasionally there are people who get some attachment to other people. That also bad. If your partner is okay, but sometimes there are people who get some certain attachment with other outsiders. And then there are boys who occasionally go to hospital. I have to tell this. It happens. And so it's the worst thing. Because what is the danger of those things? The danger is catching sexually transmitted diseases. There are a lot of very bad diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. First, AIDS. Then there are many, herpes or syphilis. So there are other things. That part also I have to teach you separately. Okay? Catching sexually transmitted diseases. Then, if you practice unprotected sexual intercourse, there's a chance of getting pregnant also. In my experience in the university, I came across one girl who got pregnant and got an abortion done. But there may be cases which are not reported. What happens? Why? It ruins your life, isn't it? If you get sexually transmitted diseases, it is a very unpleasant and you have to get treatment all the time and it's very painful and you may spread it to your good, very nice partner, you may spread it. And then once you get married, you may spread it to your children. And then suppose you get, by any chance, if you get pregnant, then you have to marry in hurry, either marry in hurry, or you have to get an abortion. If you get an abortion done, it is harmful to you, the whole your body. It's harmful to you. It's psychologically harmful to you also. The psychological harm is much greater than the physical harm, because you feel very bad rest of your life. So you have to plan your relationships very wisely, right? If you have any problem with your relationships, like every other thing, you can get advice from me or some of the counselors. Then again, other. First, I told you about this. The first, now, just now, I have talked to you about the threats that comes to your life. And now, I will tell you how to, from those stress, the first thing is, from those threats, the things you have to protect from. One of the things is I told you the stress now. So how does stress come to you? Stress can come to you in that also have parts. It could be money. It could be academic stress. It could be relationship problem. It could be language barriers. So if the problem that causes you stress is money, what can you do? හැම ප්‍රශ්නෙම කතා කරලා විසඳ ගන්න පුළුවන්, සල්ලි කතා කරලා විසඳ ගන්න බෑනේ. If you have a problem of money, what can you do? One thing is you have to spend money wisely and sparingly, right? ගොඩාක් පිරිමහල වේදම් කරන්න ඕනේ තමන්ගේ අතේ තියෙන සල්ලි ටික. ඒ කියන්නේ for what should you must spend money? For food you have to always spend, and food is quite cheap here. And you have to academic things you have to spend for your papers and all those things you have to spend. For data also you have to spend. But other things you can spare. I mean, your cloth is okay. It doesn't matter whatever you wear. Huh? Young people like you look nice, whatever. As long as the clothes are clean, you look very beautiful whatever you wear. Right? Don't spend too much money on your clothes. Right? Then still, some people don't have any support from home. So there are people who depend entirely on Mahapal or something. So however much we advise, you may not have enough money to live. Always you have to look for financial supports then. There's Mahapal and bursary, and there are other scholarship programs. You have to look for them. If you have a real money problem, you have to talk with somebody. With your, through your mentor, you can go to the Students' Affairs and Financial Division and look for some support for your money. Then you can get counseling with your mentor or counselor and talk about this problem. Again, සල්ලි නැහැ කියලා ගොඩක් දුකෙන් බයෙන් ස්ට්‍රෙස් එකෙන් ඉන්න බෑ. ડિප්‍රෙෂන් හදාගන්න බෑ. හැම දෙයකටම විසඳුමක් තියෙනවනේ. සමහර ළමයි there are students who do part-time jobs. That's also okay. But you can't make a money a stress, right? Then comes relationships. And not the relationships that I told you earlier. I am talking about the relationships generally. What are the main relationships you have? You may have relationships with your friends. You may have relationships with your family. And you have relationships with your partner. Let's take one by one. What are the bad relationship status? Let's take friends. If you don't have friends, it's bad. If you have too many friends, also it's bad. If you have bad, toxic friends, also bad, right? And no friends. What happens when you don't have friends? ඒ කියන්නේ යාළුවෝ ඉන්න ඕනි. සාමාන්‍ය යාළුවෝ ඉන්න ඕනි. ඇයි යාළුවෝ ඉන්න ඕනි? යාළුවෝ ඉන්න ඕනි අපිට කතා කරන්න කෙනෙක් ඕනි. අපිට පොතක් හුවමාරු කරගන්න කෙනෙක් ඕනි. අපිට අමාරුවක් වුණොත් හොස්පිටල් එකට යන්න කෙනෙක් ඕනි. නේද? You need friends to talk to, share your academic things, you have to get help, academic help, and go to hospital with you. For that, you need friend. Huh? But having too many friends is also bad. If you have always talking with your friends and going to various functions with your friends and spend most all the time with friends, you can't study. So too many friends are also bad. And toxic friends are also bad. What are toxic friends? Toxic friends are the people who don't let you study, who drag you to bad habits like alcohol or smoking or drugs. And toxic friends are the people who always use you. Okay? So you have to get away from those friends. No? Then let's take family relationships. Family. Family relationship, there are bad family relationship status. No family support or too much family support. Or occasionally there are toxic families also, right? So some people have very nice families who support you, but some people have no families at all. There are students who don't have mother or father, right? There are some relations, but they also don't have. Even those people who have mothers and fathers, those they are poor. They can't help you, so they can't support you. Then there are students who have too much family support. And those students always go home. The parents always call them. දවසට තුන් පාරක් විතර අම්මලා තාත්තලා කෝල් කරනවා. එතකොට ළමයාට පාඩම් කරගන්න බෑ. ළමයාට ඇඩල්ට්හුඩ් එකට යන්න තියෙන අවස්ථාව, ස්වාධීන වෙන්න තියෙන අවස්ථාව දෙමව්පියෝ නැති කරනවා. Too much family support is also bad, right? ගෙදර pet උනහම. When you are the pet of the house, when you behave like a, then you start behaving like a baby, right? So too much family support is also bad. And there are occasional toxic families, remember, okay? And you have to identify that also. Even you have to stay in nice, we have to have nice relationships with your family, but you don't forget that occasionally there are families also who are not doing the best thing for you. සමහර ළමයි ගෙදර ගියාම අම්මලා තාත්තලා බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ මේ ගොවිතැන් වැඩ ටික කරගන්න. ගෙදර වැඩ ටික කරගන්න. එහෙමයි ඉන්නවා. ගෙදර හදනවා නම් එතන මේසන් වැඩ වලට අත් උදව්වට ගන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ ළමයා. හරි? ඒක හොඳට ඕගොල්ලෝ මතක තියාගන්න. You can't do that. You have to study. Right? ඒ වගේම සමහර දෙමාපියෝ ඉන්නවා ළමයාට මහපොළ හම්බ වෙනකන් ඉන්නවා සල්ලි ඉල්ලගන්න. ඒ වගේ ඒවත් ඔකේෂන්ලි තියෙනවා. අන්න ඒක අමතක කරන්න එපා. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට තමයි ඕගොල්ලෝ චුට්ටක් විතර selfish වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? You should not hate society for that. You should not hate your parents also for that. But you have to understand. Understand, and you have to think first about your studies. That is important. Okay? Then comes the partner problem. Lot of people are very unhappy because they don't have a partner. They always worry. What my advice is, there's nothing to worry because everything, the good things comes. To some people, good things come at the towards the end, right? Very late. Good things comes very late. So you don't have to worry too much if you don't have a partner. But there are people who have too many affairs. That's very bad, right? It's bad for you physically and psychologically and socially. And some people have toxic partners, as I have told you. Bad partner who don't let you study, who always quarrel with you. Toxic partners is one of those topics that also I have to take more time and talk about. And then I have come across boys who hit their partner. Girlfriend ගහන boyfriends තියෙනවා. මේ අන්න ඒ වගේ partnersලා ගැනත් ඕගොල්ලෝ දෙපාරක් හිතන්න ඕනේ. You have to think twice about those partners. Huh? Because such partners make your life hell. Right? All those things within this small lecture, I can't talk about all those things, but always I am giving just a summary. If you have this type of problems in your life, you are free to, when I am free, when medical center is not full of patients, you can come and talk about those matters, right? Yes, in case of that type of unhealthy relations with your friends, with your family, or with your partners, you can come seek help. You can get advice, right? Then comes reporting. It is your duty if the university premises is not safe for you, if the environment is not safe for you, it's your duty to report those threats. What type of things you have to report? You have to report if there are mosquito breeding places inside the university. You have to report if the canteen food is bad, right? If the canteen food, you feel that it is not good, it is rotten food served in canteen, you have to report. Then you feel very suspicious about your water, you have to report. And you have to report about dangerous places. Like, අපි හිතමු ගහ කඩාගෙන වැටෙන්න වගේ දිරපු ගහක් තියෙනවා කියලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් කට්ටිය ලිස්සලා වැටෙන තැනක් තියෙනවා කියලා හොස්ටල් එකක. ප්‍රොටෙක්ට් කරපු නැති පඩි පෙළක් තියෙනවා කියලා. Those things you have to report because we also examine. It's our duty. We also examine. Our PHI walks all around the university and he goes to hostels and check about their safety. But there are things we may not notice. So always you have to report those things. And who do you have to report? You have to report the relevant person. Most of the time, the relevant person is the PHI. For mosquito breeding, bad food, unsafe water, those things you have to report either the PHI. PHI is there in the medical center. There's a room, special room for him. He's there in the medical center. You can report him. You can get his phone number also if you want. And you can report it to me also. Whatever you report to PHI, you can report to me also. Because I am responsible for the healthiness of the university. So, but what you shouldn't do is, just without reporting, if you just share it in social media, that's useless. එතකොට අපි හිතන්නේ ඒවා බොරු කියලා. අපිට report නොකර සාක්ෂි සහිතව අපිට report නොකර ඔයගොල්ලෝ social media වල මේ share කරනවා නම් වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒක එතකොට අපි හිතන්නේ මේ ළමයි මේ කියන්නේ බොරු කියලා. මේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඕනේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇති කරන්න කියලා අපිට හිතන්නේ. Because if you want to solve the problem, you have to report it to the relevant person. Okay? And then other thing is, when you become ill, you have to get treatment. That is important. You can't stay in the hostel saying that I am ill. I can't go to the lectures. I can't do exams. Saying that you can't stay in the your hostels or boarding place. Why? You have come here for your academic activities. You have come here for your higher education now. So to do that, you have to cure your illnesses. You can't go on complaining about it. You can't run home saying that I am ill. You have to cure your illnesses. So from where can you get treatment? From the University Medical Center, you can get treatment. But it's not always open now. In weekends, we are closed. In public corridors also, we are not open. So you can always go to General Hospital. Madhuri General Hospital, you can. And General Hospital, when can you go? The OPD is normally open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. You can go and get treatment there. And if you become ill at some late hours like 12 o'clock, midnight or 2 a.m. or something like that, then you can go to, when you go to hospital, they admit, right? So if you find that in public holidays, when University Medical Center is not open, you can't go to government hospital also. You can go, there are so many private doctors around. You have to, the only thing is you have to pay money for that. What you shouldn't do is, you don't run away, don't go home, right? Medical Center of Uvavelas University normally open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. only on working days, right? I have put here my phone number. There's a small mistake here, only 3 2s. You can put it down. Through 2 3s, 2 3s 64777. And then my personal phone number is also there. You can write it down if you want. Or So when can you call me? When the medical center is closed at night or in the morning or early in the morning. If there's a real emergency, you can call me, right? Only if there's a real emergency, not just for your common cold or those things. But if you really have a real, something really worries you, you can call me. Or you can message me also. You can WhatsApp message කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. සාමාන්‍ය text message එකක් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. You can message me. If you're not, I am not really busy. I normally read the messages. So you don't, nothing to worry. Then when you stay in hostel and you get ill, there are always hostel caretakers. You can talk with them about their problem. Sometimes you can call subordinates also about their problem. But if it's a health problem, I think it's always better to, if there's a health problem, that real emergency, you can call me. And there are small advice I have to give. It's better to, I mean, if you are suffers from chronic problem, like always suffering from some chronic problem like gastritis or asthma or catarrh or something like that, it's always better to keep few tablets with you, first aid items with you. For gastritis tablets and for tablets for asthma inhalers, it's advisable to keep those medicine. If you want, if you can always ask, you can always ask me what type of medicines you can keep handy. Okay. In that case, you don't have to run to any doctor if you know your own medicine. But self-medication is not recommended only for people who have been suffering from this illness for some time and who knows about these medicines. Huh? You can't just take any medicine, type of medicines that are taken by other students. You can't borrow medicine and just take without medical advice. Okay. And then medical certificate. Medical certificate, this is a sample of medical certificate you get from doctor. When do you need medical certificate? In your lectures and academic activities, they calculate your attendance. You need 80% attendance or something. So if you miss lectures or miss exams or something, practicals, you have to give a medical for that, medical certificate. And medical certificates are issued by doctors when you are ill, right? When you're ill only. For other problems, they don't give medicals. So you have to get those medical certificates from the doctor who treat you, not other doctors. And always take that medical when at the time you consult the doctor, not later. And you have to be ill, really ill, to get the medical. If you come to and tell me that you have this problem and then I see that you are quite healthy, I don't issue medicals. Right? And you can get medicals from other doctors, private sector doctors and government doctors. And those doctors have to be qualified. They should have their registration number. I will tell you what is needed in the medical. This is your name. These are not essential. These parts are not 1, 2. These are not essential. Sometimes name is an essential, but your illness is optional. If you suffer from some psychiatric illness or something, you can send the medical without your illness. But then number of days important. Then the word leave has to be there. Leave is not there. Word leave is not there. We don't accept the medical. Then doctor's signature has to be here. And doctor's name, doctor's qualification with registration number, it has to be there. Huh? And the date also has to be there. Without these things, we won't accept the medical. And doctor should be qualified doctor, either MBBS or registered medical officer in our country, or Ayurvedic practitioner who is registered in Sri Lanka. Right. So these are the main things I want to talk to you about. Because small lecture like that, we can't discuss everything. But are you always welcome to contact me if you have a problem. Right? Is there anything you have to ask? Anybody who wish to ask something to clarify anything can talk now. Yes. මොනවා හරි අහන්න දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. මොනවා හරි අහන්න තියෙන දේවල් තියෙනවද මොනවා හරි? chat එකේ මොකක්ද එකක් තියෙන්නේ? ආයෙත් ඉස්සෙල්ලා හම්බුනා. හරි. Come on, it's okay. I have told you that you can message him. And there's our WhatsApp group එකකුත් තියෙනවා. ඒකට link එක මම පස්සේ එවන්නම් ඔයගලන්ට. ඒකට join වෙලත් ඔයගලන්ට එක එක දේවල් අහන්න පුළුවන්. When I have notice also I will put that notice. Uh, then okay. I thank you for paying your attention to 1 hour. And I wish you a very healthy and nice undergraduate life. Okay? Thank you.